the April art hop specifically is going to be a student art hop. So we'll be featuring student art all the way from like pre-K up to like college, professional level, and I'm gonna try to have a really clear progression of that art, right? Student art is going to be featured for 2 days rather than just the normal art hop 1-day event, right? And on the second day, I've got the courthouse stage rented out, so we're going to have, I'm thinking a pretty cool musical performance. We'll see if I can get who I'm trying to, but we're gonna have a band up playing, and we're going to have some presentations introducing this community to Create California and arts integrated education, which is a pretty profound thing, arts integrated education. See, Create California was formed in 2011 by the California State Superintendent of Public Schools, Tom Torlakson. He's termed out now, he's gone, but he helped form Create California. So it was him, it was the California Parent-Teacher Association, the California Arts Alliance, and the California Arts Council, right? And they were all at this summit together talking about the state of the arts in education, and they kind of agreed with each other that kind of fucking sucks, right? So they decided something needed to be done about that, and Tom Torlakson's office, the California Superintendent's office, formed a task force to investigate the state of the arts in education and to file a recommendation. That what they found was that California schools are not meeting arts education standards, right? California is the creative capital of the world. The money generated from our creative economy, be it Hollywood or Silicon Valley, video games, whatever, stimulates the economy more than the creative ventures of any other place in the world, right? Yet, 88% of our public schools do not meet arts education standards. And that number is going to get even bigger here pretty soon with the VAPA standards, visual and performing arts standards, being expanded to include media arts, which is video, it's graphic design, it's a ton of stuff. So it's a huge field. So our schools are going to be considered to be doing even worse. Now, that was the finding of this report. The recommendation was arts integrated education. So math, science, history, whatever, taught at the same time as like dance and music and painting and like cinematography and video editing and all of these things, having it all work together cohesively to form these arts integrated lessons. So they are meeting all of these different learning styles. I had the pleasure of visiting a arts integrated classroom in the Burton School District in Porterville back in 2017, and I was blown away. And I've got some clips of that I'll throw in here, but it was a 4th grade class, right? A few of us, strangers in this classroom with cameras, adults, right? In 4th grade, I would have been all about it. I've been like, what are you guys doing? Who are you? What are you doing here, right? Not these kids. They made note of us when they walked in, and then they were locked in the lesson the entire rest of the day. So what they were doing is they were reading an excerpt from a high school level text, right? They were picking out emotion words from the text, defining them and discussing them. So talking about what fear is, what anger is, blah, blah, blah. Paintings were projected on the wall from different time periods and from all over the world, and they, as a group, picked out emotional characteristics in the painting and talked about what they could be. Of course, that is subjective, but the bared teeth of this painting could be fear, it could be embarrassment, it could be anger, right? And then they discussed these emotions further, and then that was all a review. They had already written their own dialogues to reflect the emotions that were in that excerpted text, right? And then they acted them out with each other, practicing, and then they acted them out in front of a green screen, in front of the rest of the class, with a kid on the cameras, a kid on the lights, a kid on the microphones, a kid yelling action. And then they went back as a group after the fact, and they edited in the background to reflect the emotions that they were trying to convey. A 4th grade class. 4th grade. I mean, that's the direction that schools can head, and it's something that is happening all around us, all throughout California. Create California they just launched their Public Will campaign. I had the pleasure of visiting, I had the pleasure of attending the Create California annual convening in San Jose back in October, and I was blown away.
So last thing I like to say is that students have a lot to say. They really do. And if you give them the tools, and what we're charged with is basically teach them how to say it in lots of different ways, as you've seen.
The public will campaign is currently underway. You might be seeing some more of that often, I think. Big exclamation marks is kind of the thing, like attention, right? But the Create California has contracted with Task Force out of, I think, New York, and then they have a satellite in LA. And Yossi Sargent is the guy leading that marketing plan. Yossi is notable because he was the mind behind the branding campaign for Scion. And I mean, if you're my age, you remember that Scions were huge in like 2008, 2009. Everybody had them, right? I almost got one. And they still, to this day, hold the record for most cars sold to the youngest generation ever. That is no small feat. Yossi was also responsible for Barack Obama's Hope campaign. So the guy knows his stuff, right? So we're going to be seeing more of Create California here pretty soon. And another interesting tidbit about Create California, I mean, they're just doing, I keep singing their praises because they are incredible. I personally believe that arts integrated education is the direction that public schools need to head, and I think that Create California is like a huge leap in the right direction. And so that's what we're going to be introducing this community to. Create California is doing some really awesome stuff, and we are going to be, I'm working with the Kings County Office of Education and the new superintendent of public schools, Todd Barlow, to introduce this community to Create California and the idea of arts integrated classrooms. See, because what it takes is, like, even he in the position that he's in only has so much power. What it falls to is the parents showing up to parent-teacher meetings, parent-teacher association meetings and school board meetings specifically, and pushing for the funding to be allocated towards arts integrated education. Create California has training modules. They have a blueprint for creative schools. They took that 181-page report and they broke it down into like 31 pages. It's a blueprint for creative schools, and then they recently just broke it down into 2 pages. I'll have links for you if you're interested. We don't have to keep dragging on about this stuff, but as you can see, I'm pretty excited about it, and I think that if we can get the art hop to the place that it should be anyway, we've got a real chance of making a difference here. So yeah, and I guess I should tell you a quick bit about my project. Ssussdriad, the name that really confusing name that you keep seeing everywhere, that is my dream that I've been dreaming up for about 10 years now, right? It's had a couple different names, but this one's the one that has stuck. If you're wondering the name, it's a sentient tree species from the Liaden Universe stories by Sharon Lee and Steve Miller. It's an epic space opera that spans like 2,000 years and 2 universes, and in that book series, the Ssussdriad is this giant sentient tree species that is kind of responsible for the continuation of existence and rescuing life itself, but you know, no big deal. But the project on my end is a bookstore, microbrewery, restaurant, concert hall, hopefully coming soon to Downtown Hanford. From the bookstore, we will explore the topics of develop projects in downtown revitalization, arts and alternative education, and regenerative agriculture. Yeah, so that's my jam. Hope you're into it. Thank you.